The exercise Will for Peace 2026 marine drills have begun at the Simonstown Naval Base in the Western Cape. The exercise will run until Friday. Led by China, the drills include Russia and Iran, marking Iran's first participation since joining BRICS. While their involvement has drawn international attention and domestic criticism over South Africa's ties with the US, the South African Navy says the drills are routine exercise to strengthen partnership and maritime security.
This exercise is unique in its nature because of the participating countries that take place in this exercise. However, we do have maritime exercises with other nations like France. We have exercise Oxide every 2 years. We have exercise Good Hope with the Germans. We've got Atlas with Argentina, Uruguay, and Brazil. We used to have Shadow Accord with America. So every region or every bloc has got its opportunity to exercise with the South African armed forces. As we are friendly to all these nations, we've got good and cordial diplomatic relations. So that is how we do these exercises.
Well, at the same time, University of Johannesburg's Professor Isaac Kambule says South Africa needs to be careful about its foreign policy.
The moment that Donald Trump came into power, he started accusing South Africa of committing genocide. But I think the one lucky aspect that we have is we do have the European Union on our side. Countries such as Germany, countries such as France have been able to come out and say whatever Donald Trump is saying is basically misinformation. In as much as I think we need to be trading carefully here, I think we must also be asking certain key questions as to how careful can we trade. Again, I think this also plays into the arena that we are facing in the South African context as to who is influencing South Africa's foreign policy. Is it the ANC or is it the DA? And the DA has come out and said the ANC is pursuing its own interest through South Africa's foreign policy.
Well, for more on this, we're joined by Professor Antony van Niekerk, international relations and diplomacy expert at the University of South Africa. Professor, thank you so much for your time tonight. I was looking online, Prof, and I saw that Simonstown was in fact trending, and I think it was because of this. And now, why would, in fact, South Africa ask Iran not to be an active participant in this naval exercise, as news reports suggest?
Yeah, good evening and thanks for the opportunity. Let me make some opening remarks fairly quickly. The first thing to say is that naval exercises are important for countries such as South Africa, any country that has a long coastline and whose trade depends on the oceans, needs to work with neighbors and partners across the world to ensure the safety of shipping. You know, if there's a disaster at sea, a natural disaster or a man-made disaster, an oil spill, some kind of trouble, then we want to know that our Navy apparatus is ready and able to deploy. And if they can't do that, they need to work with their partners in close cooperation to deal with the situation. And I want to give you a quick example. On the coast, on the Indian Ocean coast, from Durban northwards, is the Mozambique Channel.
Yeah.
And we worked very closely with partners in Africa and across the world to make sure that piracy can be contained. And in fact, when the Suez Canal got blocked a couple of years ago by a big container ship, I think it was called the Ever Given, all that shipping, oil and container ships had to come through the Cape of the Good Hope. And so we had to be ready to deal with that eventuality, a crisis, in fact, for the global economy. These are the reasons, in my view, why we need to support the government when it says it wants to conduct naval exercises with partners near and far. It's not only that we hook up with our BRICS partners, so to speak, because politically and ideologically they're quite close to the ANC as part of the Government of National Unity. But as the Rear Admiral just said a minute ago, we've been doing this kind of exercise with the Europeans, the Americans, the French, the Germans, Africans, the Brazilians for many years. So in my view, this is nothing new or strange. What is strange is the news reports that suggest we want to ask the Iranians to step back. But that's too late because they are here already. And by the way, if allow me to say this,
sure.
This particular exercise was for many months or years in the making. And because of the G20 activities late last year in November, this particular exercise was extended to January. So it is not as if Iran or Russia or any of the other BRICS nations were caught off guard by this particular exercise.
As you've already said, Professor, that it's already too late. Iran is already here and is participating. What now for South Africa?
No, well, I'm suggesting that the criticism of South Africa choosing to partner very closely their navies with BRICS members is a particular narrative that comes from the DA and from the white right wing in South Africa. And they try to make the connection between these choices that our government makes and our Defense Force and Navy makes with what is happening in America under the Trump administration. And the suggestion is quite simple. Let us choose our partners that are friends with America, so that we don't anger or create troubles with our relationship with the USA. So whatever choices we make, whether it's naval exercises, military exercises, trade relationships, regardless of the kind of diplomacy that we engage in as the South African government, we must choose our partners so that we don't create tension or deepen the difficult relationship with the United States under the Trump administration. In my view, it is a false argument. It's a false narrative. South Africa needs to be active in its non-aligned foreign policy. We as a country must pursue our national interests in the best way that we see fit and not choose our partners to satisfy the Americans or satisfy the Chinese or satisfy the Europeans. Those choices, I believe, lie with us, with our policymakers. And if the Government of National Unity struggles to find consensus around the direction of our foreign policy, then I would suggest to our policymakers and to government, why don't you meet quite immediately in the next 2 months to make sure that these kinds of diplomatic faux pas, if you want, doesn't happen quickly or easily again. And by the way, it is true that we have to work out a better way to normalize our relationship with the world's biggest superpower, which is the Americans. We need to find a way to live with them. There's no doubt about that.
Prof, what's at stake here for South Africa? Iran is here, they're participating. So what's at stake for this country?
The only problem I see, in my view, is the new American ambassador arrives here a few weeks from now. And he feeds back to the President of the United States, Donald Trump, that, look, these South Africans have made choices and they are friends with our enemies, China, Russia, and Iran. And he will recommend sanctions or pressure or some kind of severe action against the South African government. That is what is at stake here. And if the Americans want, they can put pressure. Our pressure points are trade, diplomatic relations with America, and with the international financial institutions. I think that is where we are weak. And so if we're not careful, this is the way that the Americans can punish us if they want to, if we are too obvious in the choices we make with what the Americans regard as their enemies. My view is we must choose the partners globally from which we will benefit most in terms of politics, stability, trade, investment.
All right, Professor Anthony van Niekerk there. He's an international relations and diplomacy expert from the University of South Africa. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.